Oh my God, I can fix the recording. It's recording, John. Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of my free 3-day challenge, how to go from overlooked and underappreciated to empowered and applauded. I'm Joanne Newborn, certified lifestyle and leadership coach with my company, Newborn Evolution. And I have found throughout the years and years of my corporate career that there's a real lack of leadership out there. And I'm passionate about leadership and helping career-focused people who feel frustrated and stressed out and unfulfilled to be able to create their own leadership mindset so that they can attain that dream job with their ideal salary and a luxurious, guilt-free work-life balance. Also, I have my MBA from Penn State with Beta Gamma Sigma honors, and I am a member of the International Coaching Federation. So that's me. I want to give everyone a quick rundown of our last day. Oh my God, that went so fast. I will be doing, like I have been every day, a live Q&A here and a little bit of coaching as well on Zoom. And there will be homework again. And tomorrow on Thursday, I will be announcing the 2 winners of the prizes in my private community, Newborn Evolution Global Leadership Vortex on Facebook. So this is a challenge. And I know people have been posting, and the ask was that people post their homework on the video that's in there each day. And I will be checking in and tabulating. And I am actually giving away 2 scholarships. Sorry, I am pausing for a moment because my screen froze. Of course, there's always a technological challenge. So I just wanted to bring up Facebook on my phone to see if anybody's got questions or comments along the way. So I will be giving away 2 scholarships to my new 5-week course called Speak Up, Quit Hiding in the Shadows, and Step into Your Leadership Potential. And the link to find more information on that is in the Facebook post. So I want to do a brief recap of yesterday, but first I wanted to ask you all if you are feeling exhausted because, and you can let me know in the chat, I am feeling exhausted. And I know that I am feeling exhausted because this work is deep and emotional. And we go to places, if this was more advanced course, I would say it's thank you, John. At least it's not just me. John's also exhausted. So in like Jungian psychology terms, it's called, what we're doing is called touching the shadow. It's a really big, long concept, so I'm not going to get into that today, but that's what we're doing. And that is very exhausting because it is bringing up these emotions that our mind has hidden away from us for years, and it doesn't want us to touch these emotions because they're painful and scary. So if anyone else is also feeling exhausted, this is why. And so don't think though that every time we do this work, it's just going to be this like emotional roller coaster and we're just going to pass out from exhaustion. The point is, and the end goal is to really, kind of stir, I always say till the soil. And we want to integrate what we have in our unconscious mind into our conscious mind. So it doesn't become, so triggering anymore. So that takes, a little bit of practice and work, but then it's not going to be scary to go there, and it's not going to be exhausting to go there. So it's a process, and it's a beautiful process, and I really love it. So I'm going to do a brief recap of yesterday. We talked about looking inside versus looking outside, and how we can determine when another person is reflecting something that's in your unconscious mind versus someone who's actually crossing your boundary. And so today we're going to talk more about setting boundaries and how you can feel empowered and applauded in your career. So boundaries are about speaking up for yourself and saying no when you want and need to, and putting yourself and your needs first. Now, that might sound a little selfish the way I just described it, but it's a lot like putting on your oxygen mask first when you're on a plane and there's trouble. So you must take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. So if it feels exhausting, some of the things that we talked about at work when we're, being triggered by people or afraid to speak up, it is because we're not taking care of our own needs, and that is depleting our energy. So I wanted to give you an example today of people who were pissing me off at work. But before I do that, I just wanted to read this one comment. Oh, I love this. So Susie's saying she's not exhausted, but energized because of sharing. And it helped to air out and see that she's not the only one with challenges. And you got some great tips from Guru Joanne, thank you, on how to handle it, leaving you with some hope of resolving issues. Yes. And I would even make a slight change from hope to faith, because faith is much more grounded than hope. And you have faith, and yes, you will. It's a process and it works. So it's not like you can go backwards once you go forwards. Once you start doing this work, you keep moving forward, because we're discovering things. And once you discover them, they're there. They can't be hidden again. So that's the great thing. So I wanted to give you an example of people at work that were pissing me off, but it was my fault because I failed to set a boundary. So let me just get a sip of water and I'll tell you about that. So at one of my companies that I worked at, we had an open office concept, meaning we had desks, but no walls. And so the team next to me, the whole team, they love to talk all day long about anything but work-related stuff. They talked about their weekends, they talked about their vacations, they talked about their dreams, they talked about their lunch, they talked about their dirty laundry, like you name it. And they were loud. They were really loud. And literally, like, they were like this far away from me. And so what did I do? I harumphed and I grumbled, and I would IM my team who were also sitting next to me on the other side. And we complained to each other about them and how we couldn't hear ourselves think because they were talking so loudly all the time. And when did they work anyway? Sheesh. Well, guess what? That was my bad. That was my fault. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean it's your fault? Like, how could that have been your fault? Well, I failed to speak up and set a boundary. At any time, I could have stood up and I could have just looked, they were right there, and I could have looked at them and said very nicely, I could have said very nicely to them, hey guys, can you keep it down? I'm on a deadline and I can't hear myself think, thanks a million, that'd be great. But I didn't, because I was afraid that they would hate me. And that's also one of the reasons why I was overlooked. I was too accommodating, and I could feel their feelings, and I didn't want to upset them. But guess what? One of the blah blahs over there, he was a senior vice president, and one of the other blah blahs, he was a director, and he got promoted to a vice president. So nobody wants someone who's accommodating in a VP role. They want people who ruffle feathers from time to time. So we're going to discuss a few ways to be empowered and applauded. One is by having boundaries and setting them. Two is by speaking up. And one more is one that I'm going to discuss next. Yesterday, someone in the group asked for solutions. And I asked them to be patient because these are really big concepts. And I wanted to approach this with little tiny baby steps so everyone could absorb it. Excuse me. So here we go with our solutions. First, you must know what you want. What is it that you want for your career? And I want you to be really, really, really specific about this. I want you to be clear, have a lot of clarity around this. I spend a lot of time with my clients working on their vision because that is the starting point. If you want to just be a big shot with a title and you don't really know why or what your purpose is, then A, it's probably not going to happen. Or B, if it does, it won't make you feel happy. So it's good to want these things, but it's great to know why. So Simon Sinek talks about knowing your why in a really great TED Talk that he did called Finding Your Why. And he said, quote, "People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it." So think about that. So when I was the worker bee and I was all about what I was doing, not why I was doing it, did I feel passionate about it? Did I have a purpose around it? No, I was just doing the what. I was not doing the why. And so what is it that's connecting inside of you? That's your why. And if you don't know what your why is, that's okay. I can help you with that. You can just let me know and I can help you with that. You can ask questions in the group. That's why I'm here. But once you know what you want, it becomes easier and easier to set your boundaries and really focus on being seen. You see, when I was the worker bee, I just wanted people to know how hard I was working. That's it. And it didn't get me that far. But when I discovered how much I loved managing teams, then I had a vision of being a director and managing a team again. And so I put it out there into the universe, and an executive recruiter called me, and I got that job because I wasn't afraid to be bold, to be seen, and to speak up about all the things that I could contribute to the company and how I could develop my team based on all the knowledge and business acumen that I was bringing to the table. And that became a really, really easy win. And I also doubled my salary. So that's what happens when you really start to do these three things. Okay, so for your homework, before I get to the homework, I also want to see, I see there are people on the Facebook Live. I just want to ask if anybody on the Facebook Live has any questions. You can put them in the comments. And then I'll keep looking for that. So for your homework today, I have two quick assignments. One, I would like you to tell me how you will start to set a boundary at work, any boundary at all. And two, I would like to know, what is your why? Because these two simple asks will get you from being overlooked and underappreciated to feeling empowered and applauded. So before I open up to the Zoom room and before we sign off on Facebook, I want to remind you that the two people that are the most engaged will win a spot with free tuition to my new course, Speak Up, Quit Hiding in the Shadows and Step into Your Leadership Potential. There is a link with all of the information to the course in the comments in the post on Facebook, and I'll put it in Zoom later as well. The normal cost is $97. So it's important that you're posting in my private community in the comments below so that you can be a contender to win one of the scholarships. Again, I just want to go over the homework again, just so that everyone's clear. It's one, tell me how you will start to set a boundary at work with any situation. Two, what is your why of what you want? Okay, and before we sign off, I just want to tell you quickly about the course, because if these 3 days resonated with you, we are going to go a lot deeper in Speak Up. So perhaps you feel you have the potential to be great. You've got fantastic ideas, but you just stay quiet, right? And no one ever hears them. Maybe you have fears that your superiors and colleagues will think you're silly or dumb if you shared your thoughts. You're nervous, you're shaky when speaking with higher ups, or maybe the thought of making presentation terrifies you. There was a study done that said people are more afraid of giving presentations than death. Like they'd rather die than give a presentation. So, you know, you're not alone if the thought of presentations terrifies you. Maybe you have a fear of speaking in public or any sort of speaking up that's holding you back. So what you will be learning is tools that will help you to get that promotion that you've been wishing for, or that will help you to have the courage to move into a bigger or different company and change careers, to be an empowered leader, to know your worth, to ask for a higher salary or bonus, and have better relationships. And you can also feel more comfortable around, well, everyone. And you can say what you mean, and you can get rid of stress, tummy aches, and sweaty palms. You can shed your fear of public speaking, garner respect from your colleagues and peers, and feel good about being able to say what you want without fear. Captivate the attention of everyone in the room. Wouldn't that feel amazing? And just be able to show up as the cool, confident person that you've really been yearning to be. So the link has all the details in the comments, and the course is 5 weeks long. It's 4 live sessions followed by Q&A like this. So there will be Q&A and group coaching after each lesson, and that'll all take place on Zoom. None of that is going to take place on social media at all. There is also a group on Facebook for 5 weeks, so you can continue to bring your questions. Sorry, did I say on Facebook? It's not on Facebook. It's going to be on LinkedIn, and it's going to be a LinkedIn group where you can bring all your questions and challenges, where I will be coaching everyone there. And everyone in the course also gets a 1-hour one-on-one private coaching session with me to discuss their personal challenges around their career success. So we can get you some serious breakthroughs. Yeah, that's what we want. So it's going to be a game changer. It really is. Okay, so if you got questions about anything, let me know. And I'm going to sign off of Facebook so I can get to the people here that are on Zoom with me. And we're going to discuss boundary setting and knowing your why. So bye-bye to all the wonderful people on Facebook. Let me adjust. And I will